My father actually liberated Auschwitz, and he was a soldier, very young. He was like 18. And when I was growing up here in California, I said to him, Dad, what if when I grow up, I don't want to be Jewish? Maybe I don't want to be, And he said, honey, you can be whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you that the world will not let you forget that you are Jewish.
I believe that the rift among the Jews in America are a great concern, not only to the world Jewry, but also to the local Jewry.
I think that certainly in America, right now, we are in the midst of a crisis, perhaps one that's been building for a while, where we see anyone who's different than us as someone to be feared or mistrusted or ostracized or pushed out. It's something that I know Israel struggles with. It's something that many countries struggle with. It's how do you absorb other people? How do you be a home for so many people with different ideas?
Different parts of my artwork sometimes is a commentary on what's happening in society. Sometimes it's social commentary or political commentary or satire. And some of my work is about those things specifically. Sometimes it's really just about, I have to say, mind, self, and society. And it's in that sense that, again, I go back to being a sociologist and using universal symbols, which are both part of Judaism and part of the human life in the world.
People stop thinking for themselves. It's very easy to read the top lines in the newspaper and not see the whole thing.
From the very beginning of the 2016 campaign, there were words being used that signaled a kind of divisiveness, a kind of polarization. We're being pried apart.
There's been a lot of talk about Black identity, racism, queerness. There's lots of identities in America. We're a very big melting pot, and those identities don't always mesh, and there's a lot of dialogue about who we are as Americans and how we explore that.
I have a recent series of work that's based on the 12 tribes of Israel, which we traditionally think of as these 12 brothers and their families coming together, and that's Israel. But from a historical perspective, right, we think about the tribes really as different peoples coming together and choosing to be a nation. And that has infused a lot of my recent work recently with ideas about what it means to be a people and to be a nation, and what it means to be with people who may not be the same as you, but you choose to move forward together. And so when I was exploring the 12 tribes, I was thinking about what does it mean to be a Jewish nation and a Jewish people, and what does it mean to be an American nation, where there are so many people with different ideas about how we should move forward. And whether you're talking about American politics or Israeli politics, there's this sense that you have to come together with people who have different opinions.
I myself was an immigrant, and I see a lot of connections, and I feel compelled to paint about that and to show those paintings in exhibits that are talking about immigration issues here in America, anti-Semitism, racism. Those are really important issues that I think artists have to address in one way or another, whatever their practice is. And I choose to do it by showing how anti-Semitism and racism affected my family.
I much prefer to follow my own path and express my fascination with what I see and my appreciation of what I see. I like to deal with things that make me happy. There are many artists that will do art that shocks. They'll do these skulls with snakes crawling through the eyes and worms coming out of decaying bodies and stuff like that. That's not my thing. I really like to celebrate life. I like to celebrate the beauty around us and my fascination with the natural world.
Photographing myself, these abandoned factories and abandoned neighborhoods, and just like the stories, those empty spaces, what might have happened there, what might these people have been thinking 50 years ago. then combine that with like the textures and the colors and the juxtaposition between the man-made building and the nature. So that's what I strive for today, is to kind of bring that, there's a story, bring a story to life, but then add those symbols of nature and how nature kind of shapes everything. It shapes our society, it shapes how we communicate, a lot of different things.
I have a piece called A Truth that I started years ago, and it's a series of doormats that people walk all over, and it represents the disintegration of integrity and morality that's going on today.
Although I may not ever paint, a big gun that's crossed out, I may show the emotion that fills it, the loss, or the hope, actually, that we need to have through these topics that we're all affected by.
My goal is to hopefully unify us. I'm tired that we're still in America, because I'm only going to speak for where I live, that we're still having these issues about color and gender. Let's get over it already. We have bigger fish to fry.
Always form your opinions according to your own judgment, because we're all are given good minds, good hearts, our ability to discriminate what really works in our behavior and what ultimately doesn't work. And if we can provide that information, then the ripple effect is universal and our world will change.
We learn to be better people because we are Jews. Everyone has that opportunity. Jews have that obligation.